So I'm going to give you a quick update on what's happening with HapPhi right now. I got a development update sheet right before jumping online here. It gives me a little bit of color. And I also want to go through the executive order that was recently issued by our president on what's happening with cryptocurrencies, what that could mean, what we know, what we don't know, and where things are going from there. So just as a quick FYI, when you create for entrepreneurs and IT people out there, we have a team of 5 that are building an app and progressive web app as well as a blockchain application. So the first element, anytime you create anything along the line of technology, the first thing you do is you work on your auth. And auth, for people that aren't tech people, that's your login abilities, your credentials, sign up, sign in, creating a password, things like that. So we've been at this for quite some time. So we actually have the sign up, sign in actionable demo that I'm going to go through. It'll be a little while till I push it up so other people can get in and create accounts and start mining tokens, but that is coming soon. You currently, because we are doing a white label product, so the idea here is I don't want to compete with anybody that's going out and positioning the product. We wanted to provide technology so that other people could monetize their existing sales staffs, their existing products, or if you're a new entrepreneur and you're looking for a way to make money and build a business, you don't have to spend millions of dollars developing a product, which often I think, a vast majority of product developments fail. And then after you've spent all your money, then decide you got to go out and position and market the product. So you've spent a lot of your money on development that you could have spent on marketing and monetization or hiring salespeople. I didn't want that. If I had had a white label version of my previous company where I could have just put a logo on it and spent the money that I had spent on development just to grow the organization, I would have been thrilled because I could have made money really, really quickly instead of being upside down for the first, 4 years of existence or more of the organization. So you're right up to the point where you exit, you've got to then pay back, where you're upside down. So really upside down through the entire whole process of being an entrepreneur right up to the final day. So we have sign in, we have sign up, we have the changing of the company's name, which obviously part of the white label, the logo, the color scheme so that you can change your skin. Users sign up. So there's different types of, people involved. We have users sign up and sign in as well. There is a chat module in there. So it's got different channel chats. Think Slack, is the easiest way to put that. So that you can communicate with both people that you've brought on underneath you and or have different channels for business purposes, because this is a business tool. So we've got contact requests within your channel, so you can invite people to your channels. They can accept or reject, listing all the contacts that you have within a channel and or that are online, people that are pending, people that are blocked, the ability to block, the ability to flag and star, all that stuff's already been built in. Socket has been used for the chat. So Socket is what's used for pretty much all chats. It's basically a method of tying together a real-time communication channel between 2 users using a secure socket. If somebody has access to that socket, then it's not secure, but there's a number of things we do to make sure that people can't access the socket, that the socket is dynamic in terms of the numbering, and that any new user that comes in that might be watching that particular socket is identified and displayed. Conversation listing displayed for all the users for which the chat's initiated. So a user can send and receive message and the person setting up the account. You can delete messages as well, delete for all sender and receiver or just for your side. So you can actually go in if almost like Snapchat to a degree. If you send something and you don't want it to stay on the other person's side, you can delete it for both. Obviously, you can star messages, mentioned that earlier, and unstarring, whole different function, as well as when you do star something, it goes into a specific list for things that you've starred so that you can find them. You can mark things currently as read or unread. You can block contacts and unblock contacts as well. So there's a lot of the basic functionality being put down that's already been there before we start building some of the specific technological advances that will be within the product. But again, we're building this as a PWA. It's a progressive web app. So that means it can be downloaded over a device, just like a regular app, but without going through your iTunes or your Android store. So it'll operate just like a web app on your phone, but we don't have to deal with Apple and their nonsense. Apple's been very slow, very difficult to deal with, and they're starting to, kind of hammer people a little bit on the monetization portion. So I really don't have any interest in dealing with or being beholden to either of the major tech companies. No offense to either of them. I just don't really want to deal with you. Quality assurance has also been done on all this. So when you do a technology or you're doing software, you have to do your QA. You have to have testing tools. You have to have test cases, test plans, risk management, all that sort of stuff. So we've got tools that we've been using. Selenium IDE has been being done for automation right now. So we've got, a number of different things for concurrent signups, user traffic, and multi-threaded sockets for handling multi-chat. But the foundation and groundwork is done. In order to even start this, just for people that are out there going, well, how do you get started on this sort of stuff? You've got to basically lay out your project plan, your documentation, especially as a non-technical, technically non-programming CEO, you have to figure out basic documentation and lay it out in detail, including, hopefully what stack you want to use, and some of your technology team may help there. Use cases, some of the QA type stuff, your architectural diagram. This is all stuff that we do. We actually work with some other people building out some other projects as well over the time. That's how I got my last company started, is we started building out products for other groups, and use some of that revenue in order to fund our development. So that became my way of monetizing, rather than going out to an angel or VC. Originally, we actually went and just said, let's raise our own money by utilizing the skills that we do have. So once you've sort of laid out a lot of these processes, it's a lot easier, because things like auth don't change that much. Your basic flow of a standard product will change based on the requirements, but it doesn't change that much. You go through the same sort of process, including your QC, your tools, etc. UI. So UI, I consider to be crucially important, especially when you're laying out all these requirements. You can lay them all out. It doesn't mean the people that are programming are going to understand them. You as a CEO, or you as a person who's managing these product development processes, having the UI settled is crucial, so that you can go through and figure out that the flow's right. Because at the end of the day, if people don't really have fun using your product, they're going to use your product. There's enough stuff out there. If it's not easy and intuitive, you're going to lose people immediately. It has to be idiot proof. And we say that loosely, because there's always an exception to that rule. Doesn't mean that they're an idiot, just means that everybody's used different products. There are certain people that are more comfortable with tech, but you have to make it as few questions as possible. And if your design's right, people should be able to navigate it or figure it out without having to go through support. If your design's wrong, you better have robust support, because people are going to get frustrated and leave pretty quickly. So UI for this particular product is in 2 stages. There's actually one part of the product that's called HapPhi, which is your chat and your white label. The other part is the HapPhi side, which is your blockchain side, your NFT side that I talked about last night. So I'll continue to give everybody updates. I want people to understand how the process goes for building the technology, because I know a lot of people out there have some awesome ideas, and sometimes they want to know how they get started on it. And I'm happy to walk through a lot of this stuff with people. I actually have a call tomorrow with a young entrepreneur who has a great idea, has not seen any of those things done that he wants to build, and I don't know what it is yet, and just wants some feedback on how this can work. So anything along those lines, reach out. We are happy to talk, and I'll tell you what the things that I've learned along the way, and hopefully this will allow you to avoid some what I would call very expensive pitfalls. Because if these things aren't taken care of immediately, or if you don't know what you're doing, you can end up wasting tens or even hundreds of thousands of dollars. And I've done both of those things in my career. Wasted $360,000 on one project, wasted tens of thousands many times along the way. So if I can utilize some of my past ignorance and help you not make those same mistakes, I'm happy to do that. So always reach out to us on HapPhi.com and, reach out and say, hey, I'm looking to do this, or if you have any questions, come on and pop on anytime in the comment section. That's what we're here for. So today is going to be pretty quick. I'm going to stick here for now. I'll come back and do another one on the executive order, just to kind of go through that, so we don't, put a bunch of stuff together that's really unrelated. In the meantime, I hope everybody has a fantastic day, and reach out if you have any questions. Otherwise, I will see you soon, and we can go through the next iteration of development cycle pieces and that executive order and what it means to crypto holders. Thank you so much.